Hello and welcome to another video. First of all, thank you very much for your support so far. Welcome to all the new subscribers after the state of the map. You're very welcome and I hope I can live up to all your expectations. Today I want to talk about histosm.org, which is a map of historical features, not just in Ireland but worldwide, and it's based on OpenStreetMap data. Quelle surprise. So we'll dig right in. So this is the website. Histosm.org, hist for history obviously, osm for OpenStreetMap, and then org. And what you see is this, and you can zoom out and see the whole world, but of course I'm gonna zoom in on Ireland. And soon enough you see that there's a lot going on in County Clare, we'll get to that. And on the right hand side you have all the tags that are used, and it's all based on the historic key. So let's just look at that in the wiki. So the key is historic. You've seen me use it before for churches and graveyards and benchmarks, I guess. So historic equals, and then it can be any of these here and stuff you make up because there isn't an official tag yet. So for example, archaeological site, which in Ireland very often will be a ring fort, sometimes a lost village or something. Then what we also often get is, of course, castle in Ireland. And then, of course, there are subtags. So if you have an archaeological site, I'll go back here. So you see archaeological site, and this includes the UK. You have a number here. Archaeological site is always the highest number because it is the broadest definition, I guess. So it could be a battlefield as well. It could be a ring fort. It could be a village. It could be a monastery. And it could even be something that has buildings on it. And then the next one would be memorial. And that's either a monument to someone or any plaque that you find on a wall is a memorial plaque. So it's tagged historic equals memorial, and then memorial equals plaque, I think. So I'll just zoom in on Kilkenny because I've mapped most of those things, so I know what I'm talking about, I think. My internet's just given up. So I'll zoom in on Kilkenny if my internet lets me. You can also use the search bar, so I'll do that, Kilkenny. And it'll take me to the city of Kilkenny. And you see that it has reduced the number of options here, because it only shows the things that are on screen at that zoom level. So we have a lot of memorials. That's 107 in that piece that I've chosen now. If I just click on that, it'll only show the memorials, and without clicking on them, I'd say most of them are the plaques that I mapped a couple of months ago. If I click on it again, it deletes that or resets that filter. So by clicking on the things on the right hand side, you filter for these things. So memorial 104, I'll reset the filter. Historic equals yes. Looking at the number and the locations, I would think they're mostly benchmarks, because we don't really want historic yes, but there is no historic survey marker or something like that. So we're just gonna have to live with that. Archaeological site 70. As I said before, most of them will be ring forts. If I just click on one where I know it's a ring fort, that's a bit of a gamble. I'll just click on any of them. This one I think is one. It'll have a pop-up and give you all the tags for it. So I was right, it is a ring fort, Lochboy ring fort. And you have the historic tag here. Historic archaeological site, site type fortification, fortification type ring fort, and then the ID. So if you want to edit it, you just click on that link and it opens the ID editor. And then it also gives you the type, which can be a node, away, or a relation, of course. I try Limekiln, because I've mapped a couple of those. They don't have their own icon. Some of them will have their own icon, like memorials. And archaeological sites. Yeah, let's go back to Limekiln, and if you click on it, it should open something. Or not, that's probably my internet. Sorry about that. It's not harvesting the OpenStreetMap data live. I've sent them an email. Oh, but I should probably say who made this whole thing. It's the University of Heidelberg, the GI Science Department at the University in Heidelberg in Germany. I've sent them an email because I remembered having mapped a couple of milestones between Gore's Bridge and Bagnallstown, and they're not appearing on the map. So I was wondering why that was. And there should be 4 here. And they got back to me and they said they have server problems, so it's not a live view. But that shouldn't deter you from just checking it out and just playing around with it. So once you've chosen one of the things on the site, let's call them a filter. If you've chosen one, let's say Ohmstone. There's one in Rothaus and there's the 2 in Church Clara Church Ruin, covered in one of my videos. You can then zoom out and it should show you all the Ohmstones that are mapped on OpenStreetMap. So there seem to be, where's it gone? There it is, 14 Ohmstones. And also in the address bar in your browser, you can also see that it says Ohmstone now, up there. So that should show you all the Ohmstones. Again, I'm pretty sure there should be more. I think this is Adair, here south of Limerick. I remember adding those. I'm sure somebody else must have added Ohmstones, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a cached version that is way older than I think it is. You can also use it for quality control. So let's say historic ruins. If we look at the key, it's alphabetical ruins. Remains of structures that were once complete but have fallen into partial or complete repair. I don't like using historic ruins because it's not very precise, and we are lucky enough in Ireland that we can use the British War Office map as a base layer. And when you turn that on in your ID editor or even in JOSM, you will see it marked as a church or a castle, and you can use historic equals castle or historic equals church instead, and that's much more precise and much more helpful than just tagging it as a ruin. And even if you can see, even if it isn't named on the map, you can usually say that it used to be a house, and you can even use historic equals house or something, or watermill if it's near a river, but it will also often be called a mill in the British War Office map. I meant to go to County Clare. I've broken it now. Oh yeah, my internet's gone again. The joys of living in the country. Okay, so I've zoomed out to go to Clare, and I just discovered on the site here, site of former pub 36 occurrences. That's gas. Where are they? Oh, they're mostly in the UK. Never mind about that. I was gonna say that's so Irish. It's not. So we'll zoom in on County Clare and let's see if maybe we can reduce the number of historic equals ruins. If I just click on that, and I'll just zoom in on one and see if there's a name attached to it. See, this is probably a church because it's next to a well. So if I click on it now, we get the pop-up again. And as I said before, we have the OSM ID, and if I click on that, it'll open the normal OpenStreetMap view, and I can go in and edit. And let's just switch to the British War Office map. Okay, bad choice. It's not labeled as a church. I'm sure it is one, but I don't want to presume. Okay, let's try this one. Also because cemetery is spelled wrong. So let's just click on that and open that one. So you see here on the British War Office map it says church in ruins. So this is a church, and it actually does say in the Wikidata Drumcliff Church and Round Tower. So I'm just gonna change it from historic ruins to historic church, and that will be much more precise. And then also I will correct the spelling of cemetery in case somebody's looking for Drumcliff Cemetery and they won't find it in that spelling. And let's see if the round tower is visible on the satellite view. Yeah, you can see the shadow here. So that's clearly, or very, very, very likely the round tower. So I'm just going to add that. It's really nothing to do with the topic of, well, not nothing to do with the topic, but as usual I'm getting sidetracked. So it's area historic, and I'm just going to be very bold and use round tower, which is not an established tag, but who knows, somebody might write a proposal for it. Historic round tower, and then we can also use the name. What was the area called? Drumcliff. Round tower. There we go. Yep. We'll just save that. Added round tower, retagged church ruin, and corrected spelling. Sources: British War Office map, and also Esri. Is it? Yeah. And upload. And as I said before, this is not a live view, so if I refresh this page now, it won't change the ruin to a church. Looks like an interesting site. So if I refresh now, it might not show it right away. No, let's go back to Histosm. So what you could also use it for is preparing your staycation. So if you turn off the filter, which it won't do now for me for some reason, and you want to go, let's say you want to go to Kerry. Let's say you want to go to Kenmare. Completely random. It's not. You can look at what's available. You know, it has to be mapped, of course. You have to rely on an area being mapped. So let's say around Kenmare you have 6 ruins, which are taking a while to show. Or 5 archaeological sites. This is actually a stone circle. Sorry, I'm laughing because I have seen this video on Twitter about a tour guide talking about a standing stone circle. It's very funny. So this is a stone circle basically within the town of Kenmare. I don't know what the other ones are. And then historic, yes. Could just click on it. I think one is a bridge. Or a well. How to tag properly? Well, just watch my video about holy wells. And the other one is a hotel. I'm probably completely off again. But I mapped Kenmare for our buildings project, so I know it a little bit. Ah, here. My internet's too slow. Forget about that. And there's also a memorial, a monument, and a tomb. No castles. But if you... I'll just deactivate the memorial. If you just zoom out and you're dying to see loads of castles, you can just click on the castle filter and it'll show you all the mapped castles in Ireland, of which there is no shortage, as we all know. So, you can use that to plan your holidays, your staycations, and if we're ever allowed again and it's safe again to travel and you want to go to Spain, you can use the same map for Spain to look up churches and things like that in Spain. So I think it's a pretty neat idea to have a map like that. And well done to the people in Heidelberg, or Heidelberg as people say here. Great stuff. And I hope you enjoy this. There's a Facebook page if you want to follow me on Facebook called OSM for History Buffs. I'll put the link in the description. There is also the YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to. Again, welcome to all the new subscribers. And Shinny. Bye.